of this DCG side so far. I mean, obviously Mission, he has gone for a bit of dark tech when it comes to his Orianna builds, so... But DCG are 1-1, that's right, they did lose yesterday. But again, Hanabi and Hana have looked really strong. Mission, I do have a question around, just because his build path seems pretty one-dimensional. Both games going for the exact same build path, whereas perhaps Leandre's looked better in almost both of those games, and Cascada again on that Kai'Sa yesterday didn't look so good. But it is going to be LeBlanc Kai'Sa Vi banned from this DCG side. In response though, Azir and Melio, so not going to be able to ban LeBlanc and Nico. And with that, I think you almost just leave both of them open.
Well, LeBlanc was banned here by Blue's side. And I think DCG might have done this already, so I wonder, maybe Mission isn't capable of playing it. I haven't actually checked, but Nico is up and available. There's also the Maokai, the Sejuani, Tristana, lots of power picks. So Tristana is the one. And Hanabi, he seems really very happy. I wonder, is this something that could be looking towards top lane as well? I'm not too sure.
Okay, could be exciting. Jace has been a traditional answer here to the Tristana, but I would be excited to see Nico. Now, Nico can, in theory, also go jungle. Isn't the worst pick, although I'm not sure how well it does into the tanks, which are the current meta picks.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So Jace Maokai picked up, and Jace definitely a flex pick for Frank, both Pretender and Solo Kill, very good on the champ. I'd be so surprised to see Nico fall through the draft, but at the same time, you know, it looks like we might have our mid laners picked already, so could see it being completely ignored. Definitely one of the more different drafts we've seen so far. Sejuani the pickup now, not too much of a surprise, and that Renekton, or the Jax even being paired with it, kind of rounds it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of perplexed at where Nico is going in these drafts. Like, I don't see a real reason not to pick it, obviously. I don't think it even does poorly, or that poorly, into the Tristana if you just want to place it mid.
And no, I think it should be good versus Trist.
Yeah.
But, I mean, maybe they think Jace is better. I mean, it is very good on, like, both the players, right? Like, maybe they're not that comfortable on Nico, but we know Solo Kill and Pretender, no slouches on the Jace. And Jax, I think, should be the response here to the Renekton, which would mean, I think, that Nico will be just slipping through the whole draft.
Yeah, Solo Kill in their loss yesterday looked like the standout player. He was on that Jax, although Kennen now the hover. Yeah. I would quite like to see the Kennen. I think it can do quite well onto the Renekton.
Yeah, that's something different. I wonder, do you think there's a chance he goes for the tankier Kennen build, or do you think it'll just be AP?
I think it probably will be AP, just knowing Solo Kill as a player, but I think actually in this instance, you could go for that Heartsteel Demonic Embrace Kennen. There is a lot of health that's going to come through on DCG, and Kennen does become pretty unkillable if you do go that tankier build. You get a lot less damage out of him, but you get a lot more CC in these fights, so it is a trade-off, but Solo Kill as a player more likely to go AP, I suspect.
Something kind of curious there, despite Melio being banned in the first 3 by Frank, they actually banned the Lucian in the second phase. I believe this is on the patch where Lucian now can be paired with CC support, so including the melees, but I wonder what combo exactly they were scared of. Not too sure. It looks like we'll never know. Xayah is the answering ban, and last ban here for Frank is the Ziggs, so taking that away, you know, want to make sure they can punish bot lane and not give that AP bot option, although there are still many static Shiv users.
Yeah, absolutely, and they do have to go for an AP in this bottom lane at this stage. I think that could have also been why they took away the Lucian, because, again, does do quite a lot of magic damage. You can pair it with the Nami if you wanted to still.
Yeah, there is. I think there's a fair amount of magic damage through Sedge, and Tristana should be building the Shiv as well. If they can play another kind of champ that deals a little bit of AP damage, though, it could be nice, and Aphelios might be the pickup. I wonder if that would mean Kaiwing going for that Thresh last pick. Have to see. And Eminem, he's obviously very comfortable in the Aphelios, locks it in. Now, what is the response? So, I mean, Ashe? I like Ashe more than Varus. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Varus is banned, but Ashe won't offer a whole lot of magic damage, although it could be, I believe it was Cascada last split who went for that Ravenous Hydra first, Mirror Mana, Imperial Mandate, 80 carry Ashe build, and it isn't terrible. It does mean you lack a lot of DPS, but that should be covered in theory by your Tristana.
There was also Orca who got the MVP, I think, on Ashe, right? When he subbed in.
It was Char.
Ooh, okay.
Char was the sub, yeah.
So now, Ooh, looking at a bunch of different supports. Ashe Heimerdinger would give them an extremely strong bot lane matchup. So lots of lane power, and they do lock it in. So that's something a bit different. And now, Frank, what is your last pick? I mean, Thresh gives safety to Ophelia, so that maybe you don't need it here. I mean, there isn't a whole lot of dive threat onto him. What else could you pick? I mean, just an engaged support?
Ooh.
Or Nico support? Or Nico jungle Maokai support? Probably Nico support though, right?
Most likely Nico support, I believe. But again, yeah, you pointed out, could be either way, really. I don't think Maokai support...
Yeah, it hasn't been played in a while. Ooh, okay, so they actually go back to the Yuumi.
Ah, I hate seeing Yuumi.
So that's... I mean, that's definitely different. We haven't seen much Yuumi on the patch. She kind of did get taken down, I think, about 45% win rate. So I'm a little surprised to see it picked up, but I think if they can somehow survive this Ashe Heimerdinger lane, obviously still scales quite well, and this is a wild draft. I mean, you know, from picks and bans, while some of it is the same, notably the Sedge Renekton, you know, maybe this Jace Maokai, the rest of it is very different, especially in the bot lane. And you kind of expect that from DCG, you know, Kriskata and Orca. Back in the day, they played lots of the Caitlyn Lux. They played some of that Lucian before as well, so always willing to kind of go against the grain, maybe not pick completely off meta, but willing to be on the fringe of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see if Solo Kill does pay ode to Rest's Kennen and take that Grasp of the Undying, go tank. It was quite exciting, and I actually don't hate the build. I've tried it out myself quite a bit in solo queue, and it actually does get the job done. I mean, obviously in coordinated gameplay, it's not quite as strong, but the only real threat onto it would be Tristana. I guess that depends on the Ashe build, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Kriskata go for that cooldown-oriented Ashe.
Yeah, I wonder what the Ashe build is these days. I haven't seen much Ashe played lately.
I think it's generally a Q rush. Yeah, you max the Q first nowadays. Is usually what's better.
Yeah, we'll see though, because normally when you pair Ashe with Heimerdinger, you know, you are going for more points in W, trying to win that laning phase.
Absolutely.
So we'll see, I suppose. And Heimerdinger is a champ that we haven't seen a while and hasn't seen a whole lot of success in the PCS altogether, but I think it is underrated. I mean, it brings a lot of strength in the team fight and has strong lane on top of it. Does need to be protected in the early game, though. Once you're level 6, it's easy to 2v3, but before then, can be in a bit of trouble as we will head on to the Rift here. Something real interesting already. It is boots 4 potions picked up by Eminem.
Yep, and it is Hail of Blades Ashe, so almost certainly, I think at this point, it will be going for that cooldown-oriented Ashe build.
Cull Fleet on the Kennen. Do you think there's a chance we see a Shiv Kennen?
Oh, probably, right?
I don't know.
I mean, the fleet will help in sort of trying to avoid getting jumped on by the Renekton, but in general, you don't have to worry too much as Kennen because you do get a lot of speed and just activating your E and running away, getting the attack speed and hitting them on the way out.
Yeah. Well, lots of different things to look forward to in this game, and I'm a little curious to see how this Tristana-Jace matchup goes this time, because I think in most games we've seen, oh, nice little trade coming out here at level 1.
There's phase rush on the Jace, gets the Yuumi shield, so avoids a lot of that damage, and in fact, manages to win the trade because of it.
Yeah, if I were Mission, I would be typing support gap at this point. But as I was saying, you know, when we saw the Jace-Tristana matchup before, it kind of seemed like Tristana was winning out on the trades, but then once Jace got that Ghost Blade, it was kind of being better. But, you know, Mission and Pretender, both very strong laners in their own right, and maybe we'll see here a bit more of how the matchup might be meant to be played.
Yeah, and this is just... I think Eminem and Kaiwing might have missed the first minions XP.
Ooh. That could mean quite a lot here. It's going to take a while for them to end up getting towards that level 2.
I'm pretty sure they did.
He's getting pretty good trades in the mid lane. I think using that fleet to dodge out. Ooh, narrowly avoids the QE there. Pretender going forward knows that Mission doesn't have the bomb to trade back.
The one thing about this Jace versus Tristana matchup, at least early game, is that oftentimes Jace can get a health advantage, but it's at the cost of a lot of his mana. And so it's only really a temporary advantage, because when Jace is out of mana, he's not really going to be able to win any trades. His auto attacks aren't really what this champion's about.
Yeah, definitely early. You know, Jace isn't quite as insane as he was before. Has the phase rush as well to disengage from those trades. And on the top side, Solo Kill building up a pretty big wave. Doesn't have jungler on his side, so won't be looking for any dives or anything like that. But so far, I mean, lane's remaining relatively stable. Mid really is the place where the most action's taking place. Kenny-chan, he could look mid. I wonder if he's going to walk all the way around. Mission does not have a ward down. I don't think he knows he's here. Mission's in trouble.
Okay, Mission should have rocket jump available, but Flash Root will come in and the knockback, but a nice buffer there on that rocket jump lets him survive. But importantly, both summoners now will be down for this Tristana.
Mission, he does get out with his life, and it ended up being a flash trade, so it isn't the worst result, but honestly, you shouldn't be losing your flash here as Tristana. He had loads of time to place a ward and didn't really get it. Maybe was a little surprised by the side Kenny-chan came from. But either way, I think a little bit of greed from Mission does cost him. Didn't have that ward down, wanted to just play for his lane. Does manage to get away with his life though, which is very, very important. And now, Hana's going to cross mid. I wonder if he can cancel Pretender's base. Not sure if he'll find it on the minimap here. Oh, he finds it.
Yeah, Hana is going to find Pretender. That's really annoying, but ultimately should be okay to recall and get back in fairly good amount of time.
Yeah, I think it is a pretty big deal, though, because I think Pretender was going to be able to get back there without using his TP, but most likely now will need to. And oh my god, if that had cancelled him, I would be very upset. TP comes in from Pretender, does have himself the tier now. This is another kind of interesting thing we've seen from a few Jaces. Sometimes they start the longsword refillable, go straight for the Dirk, and then pick up the tier. Other times, though, like in this, where we've got that Doran's Blade, you know, just basing first time, grabbing your longsword and tier. Maybe now setting up a gank on mid. There have been trades happening already. Pretender still has the flash, and I think can walk this one out.
Finds a nice amount of damage there on Mission. All for good measure.
Oh, Hunter's going to chase him down.
Phase rush available still.
Here's something against Pretender.
Yeah, he's not a happy man. Actually manages to find the stun. Rocket jump going to come in. No flash available for Tristana though, so it shouldn't be any death.
And it's still really, really annoying though. It can be quite hard for Pretender to actually lifesteal this up, because while he does have that D-Blade, if he just gets zoned off the wave by Tristana as it pushes back out, could be troublesome. And top side, Solokill's doing what he does best, starting to build himself up a little bit of a lead in that top lane. Looks like this wave should crash, and I'm a little surprised that no jungler's really gone up here, but maybe it just can't really be ganked. In bot side, I think credit to Eminem and Kaiwing, who have managed to keep this lane completely even up against Ashe Heimerdinger. That's no easy feat.
Yeah, absolutely not. And I think that is more important than just staying even. I think in general, if you are this Ashe Heimer, you want to build yourself up a lane advantage, and without even so much as assistance from Kenny-chan, Eminem and Kaiwing have managed to maintain fairly even.
Definitely a good spot to be in once they head into that mid game. And now both junglers are around bot. Looks pretty hard to gank though. There's a lot of sums still left available, high HP bars across the board. Seems like it'll mainly just be establishing vision here for the junglers, and Hanabi, he's going for the all-in.
Yeah, Solokill has to be really careful here. There's flash available for both top laners. Hanabi though.
Dead, maybe? No, okay, gets the flash out. Hanabi didn't have enough rage to follow it up with the flash, but now has himself a flash advantage, which could mean an all-in later with just a flash W. And I think that was greedy from Solokill, who hadn't reset at that point, and it was those Merc treads completed by Hanabi. And looking at the map, I wonder if Hanabi will go for more DCG. I'm not sure they can do this.
Yeah, Eminem getting quite aggressive here. Does have pretty good guns, but at this early on in the game, it's just going to be too hard to ever make it through this Heimerdinger. But Kenny-chan is coming down to deal with Heimerdinger. Flash is going to be used. Twisted Advance. It is Orchid getting extremely low, but it's going to be 3v2 down on this bot side, even 3v4.
Still, though, I think it looks better and better here for DCG. They've maintained control of the river for a while. And Solokill, he invests that TP back in the top, doesn't want to lose too much, so no way he'll be able to get down here. And it is, I think, going to be the Shiv on the cannon. Has the Noon Quiver and the Longsword. So I've never seen a Shiv cannon before, but in my head it should be pretty good.
It definitely solves one issue Kennen generally has in his wave clear. Means that you aren't going to have to use all of your abilities, which means all of your energy to push a wave. You can just auto-attack it, and that'll pretty much do the job.
It always seems to be Kennen. You know, he's one of those champs that can really use a bunch of different items. Seen the tank Kennen, regular AP Kennen, and now Shiv Kennen. First Dragon is picked up here for the side of DCG. Nice little pickup, and they will get it early enough that they can swap back to that top side. Look to play for that Rift Herald next. And one problem, as we mentioned with the Shiv build before, is that while it's good in that isolated 1v1, it's not that great at skirmishing until you complete the Shiv. So I wonder how Frank are going to go about contesting this Herald, spawning in just 5 more seconds here. Mission, he's the one with the CS lead, and importantly, he didn't have to build the Vamp Scepter. So that's something else that we saw Tristanas do against Jace sometime, is building that Vamp Scepter to kind of withstand the poke early. But I think Pretender not grabbing the Dirk on his first base means that he just doesn't have the same strength that a lot of the other Jaces have by this point. So I wonder whether that's a mistake or not for the matchup. We don't know yet, and Frank, they're looking to contest this, but I think it's just gone. They have support here in Orca, and they also have that top priority, so should probably be turning their sights back towards bot side as DCG, they've secured both early game objectives.
Yeah, and you shouldn't really be able to get much on the bottom side here as Frank, because it is still Ash going to be here, and Yuumi not offering a whole lot at this stage of the game means it's not even that much of a 2v1.
Ooh, nice chunk onto Kenny Chan here. Orca's making this Heimerdinger work. At the same time, though, look how far behind Kriskata is in CS now. Ooh,
Yeah,
Ash Arrow comes out. No cleanse up.
Cleanse is not up, but Flash is available. Eminem, I feel like, has to use it soon. Isn't going to for now. Does have Kenny Chan in the wings there waiting. Good amount of healing also coming through that Yuumi ult.
Yeah, he's just going to make sure to crash his wave. Probably look for a reset after. And Hana.
Ooh,
nice flash from Pretender.
Yep, had to commit it. Was going to go down. If not, this Rift Herald will be able to pick up 2 plates here. Mission looking to get at least half the gold from that.
Yep, this is going to get a bit of gold. And he used the bomb, though. I want to pretend he misses Kenny Chan. He's a bit low, but he has members around.
Yeah, Kai Wing's here. It is going to be an engage here onto Hana. They're going to use Nature's Grasp as well as that knockback. Aren't able to use the stun just yet on Eminem, but he's going to flash over and follow. There's another flash. It's Hana in trouble, but Orca turns it around. 1 for 1 so far. First blood does go over to this Heimerdinger, as it is going to be Mission finding Kenny Chan off the back end.
Yeah, a bit of a brawl here in the bot side jungle, but does go the way of DCG, and I think both sides can actually be reasonably happy with that. You know, you're not really expecting to win the early game when you are playing the likes of Yuumi. So a decent trade either way, and Hana, I think he kind of just went in a bit too early. Right now, there's no one showing bot lane, so he just needs to wait for his bot lane to push, and then they can come back. Instead, though, I think he goes a bit too early, was forced to flash, and admittedly, there were a lot of sums used to chase him down. And credit to Orca, who moved up here very early, realized that he was going to have to help his jungler. Comes in, and I believe they got this kill into Eminem, which is actually really big, because in the meantime, you know, all that gold is going to Kriskata on bot side. He was hitting that bot tower the whole time, getting those waves, and closes up the CS gap with it. Now is the Shiv completed for the Ashe.
Yeah, massive item there now completed for this Ashe. Gonna make this bot lane even more oppressive, at least for the time being.
Shiv Ashe is a little different. I think it's good, though. You can just play Shiv on anything this patch, and it's probably good. Mission clears this one out. And it looks like he's not going for the Shiv. I think he's building the Kraken, actually.
I think, yeah, Phelios often does go for the Storm Razor or the Kraken first.
No, I meant the Tristana.
Oh, the Tristana?
Yeah. Because
yeah.
Tristana normally does go for
true.
the Shiv, but going something different this game, or not. It's kind of surprising, though, because I feel like this isn't that great a Kraken Slayer game. I would have expected a Shiv to come in, but maybe just doesn't want that much magic damage. I mean, they do have, you know, the Ashe, Heimer, and the Sedge. Ooh, Pretender, he's
there
gone.
is no flash available. He's just going to go down. Who's going to pick up the kill? It really does want to be Mission, but Orchid finds a second.
To be honest, kills on Orca, I think, are fine. In fact, might even be better. I know, a controversial opinion, but I think Heimerdinger completing the Rylai's earlier into the game is really, really big. It can make a big difference at the second Dragon fight. I'm not sure if he's going to base and pick it up beforehand, but if he does, it would be a really big spike. It makes it really difficult, especially for the melee champs to play against it. Even the range champs, you know, kiting on the way out can be really hard, so we'll see. Dragon is spawning in 20 more seconds, and I think DCG are going to want to be there early. Mission's going to try and base and complete that Kraken now, you'd have to think. Gets his base cancelled by a Maokai Sapling, looks like on the minimap. Pretender has picked up the Ghost Blade, so a lot of spikes coming in for what is a very important timing in this game. Second Dragon is now up.
Shiv now completed as well for solo kill. Will have teleport momentarily, not quite up as of yet, but the unsealed spellbook, or unleashed teleport even.
Even a Rylai's now completed on that Heimerdinger, so would expect this fight to go the way of DCG. At the same time, Frank, they don't often back down from these, and I think we've seen a lot this split that teams that start giving over the second drag can start finding themselves in a very tough position. And Frank, they're not that far behind, but haven't quite hit the spikes I think they're after. Probably do just want to give this one up and play for a bit more Yuumi scaling. Pretender, he might be getting looked at again. Doesn't have any Merc treads, no flash to speak of either.
Has to be really careful here. Is respecting the possibility here. Now, teleport is available for this Kennen. Even though you are at an item disadvantage, if he's able to find a nice teleport flank, then that could mean a massive difference in the result of a fight.
Yeah, I wonder if they are going to fight this or if they're just going to kind of delay it and just allow that isolated 1v1 to continue in topside. This mid tower is getting looked at, but Mission needs to be careful. Kenny Chan is around, spotted out there by the Hawk shot. And this is now full control to the side of DCG. Frank, I think they should give this one up, but there are now pings around, so I think they want to contest, but I really don't think it's their fight. They're going to try.
Nature's Graph used now. There's a nice shock blast, but the Glacial Prison will land. And now final chapter coming out of this Yuumi is not going to be in range. Does force out the flash for Ash, but ultimately it's just the flash for the Dragon.
Getting the flash is definitely nice, but I am really surprised that Frank was so willing to fight that. It kind of feels like you might be better off just buying time to scale with your Yuumi. And second Dragon, it's not the end of the world. Really difficult, I think, to contest that once Heimerdinger has the control. So maybe instead, could have set up some of that topside control, maybe even taken the top tower. Instead, though, with investing all that tempo bot side, it will just all be kind of reset back to neutral. And now Hana, he's looking towards that Rift Herald as Eminem. Lots of wave clear. Nice CS lead for himself as well. Not often that you see the Shiv champ behind him CS.
No, definitely not. And it looks like up top here, Solo Kill is getting sort of the better of the trades now, forcing out that teleport from Hanabi. Is picking himself up Krugs as well, so getting as much farm as possible onto this Kennen. I'm excited to see how much damage this Shiv build Kennen is going to be able to put out in the mid game.
Yeah, I think importantly with a Shiv build as well, it just gives you so much time to do anything. You one-shot side waves, which, you know, Kennen kind of before would have to invest, you know, his entire energy bar into clearing a wave, but now you can one-shot the wave, very easily leave and start to pressure elsewhere, whereas Renekton, he can still clear it as well, but needs a bit more time. Has that Stride Breaker for himself instead of the Gore Drinker. And I think DCG, they've been kind of ticking all the boxes. Obviously, they do, I think, have the pressuring lane, especially in bot side, but they've got 2 Dragons to 0. I think they had 2 Heralds to 0 as well.
Hello coming in. Solo Kill doesn't know it yet. Should be getting Buster shotted back in. He is going to. Manages to flash forward to land that stun, but it's Orca coming in with the snipe. Finds himself a third.
Oh, Pretender TP'd in as well, and I think he's stuck here. Ash ult does go wide.
Yeah, Mission going to flash out. Pretender does have flash available too. Is going to get over that wall. Follow up though, rocket jump.
I think he's dead, right?
Glacial Prison going to be used here. Hana looking to pick himself up one. Could have left that one actually for Mission with the bomb, but is going to pick that up. It's kind of things going bad to worse here for Frank at the moment.
They are, and the one saving grace for them, I think, is that they have this Yuumi. I'm not sure if it's going to come online in time though. Third Dragon is spawning in only 2.5 more minutes, and DCG, they're doing a great job of keeping the pressure up. They're snowballed this game. They can probably even play for a second tower here with that Heimerdinger and Tristana. Have a lot of damage on these towers. Going to be knocking on it already.
Yeah, it's going to be able to get it. That's an amazing amount of gold that is going to go over the side of DCG, and Mission in particular is going to have quite a lot of gold to spend as he recalls.
I'm very surprised Solo Kill did not see that TP, and I think Pretender, the TP was far too late. Probably should have just, well, actually, I was going to say hide in the bush, but realistically, he was spotted on the turret there, so there is no way out. Maybe he could have just ran out earlier, but once you've committed, there really is no way out. Hana, he flash ults over the wall, and this is what ultimately leads to those 2 towers going down top. I think if Pretender had just walked to there, could have at least kept the tier 2 tower up.
Yeah, I feel like as soon as Phase Rush procs, if you just flash over the wall, maybe.
Yeah, I think she should have got out. Maybe did have to invest the flash no matter what. Now, Eminem has been picking up a lot of gold in the side lane. He's been the beneficiary of these trades, just giving up the objective to take gold on the other side of the map. So the Aphelios Yuumi is very strong, but I don't think they're strong enough that they can carry fights just yet, and you kind of need them to carry sooner rather than later. As this third dragon is spawning soon, I wonder, will they keep trading it? Will they trade one more tower on top side? There are objective bounties on it, and Eminem, it looks like that's what he wants to do. Kenny Chan up here as well.
Hanabi actually uses the Dominus extremely early, and it takes a lot of his health, but just trying to clear that wave. Now, 1 minute until this Dragon, we are going to see recalls, but Mission likely to pick up yet another tower for himself here.
Yeah, and every time, even when Frank are trading gold, it's definitely not, it's not coming for free. Can they break this top tower? I don't think so. Orca's around, Nature's Grasp is committed, and I think that basically confirms that the side of Frank will not be contesting that third Dragon, and they're going to try put all their eggs in the Aphelios Yuumi scaling basket, and I'm not sure it's going to work out.
Yeah, another tower now going down. That's every single inner tower taken down 18 minutes, 40 seconds into the game.
DCG, it feels like they are just running away with this one. They should just be able to pick up this third Dragon for free here. Don't see a way Frank can contest, especially not with that Nature's Grasp down. Maybe can look on mid-wave instead. You know, Krishkada still contesting pretty far up, but there's no one really in position for it. So DCG, they're getting everything they want here.
Yeah, I think you at least need 2 items, if not 3 items on this Aphelios before you can reliably have a chance. I mean, it is 2.5 items already completed on this Tristana, which just makes the job of Aphelios so much more difficult.
Now, third Dragon is picked up nice and early. It looks like Frank should be able to trade this top tower. Ooh, Ash Arrow comes through, but that will be the tower going down. I will say credit to them. Frank have realized that they can't win these fights and are getting as much gold as they can onto the Aphelios. Whether or not it's too little too late, we'll find out soon. Hanabi, he's chasing. I wonder, I'm not sure they can go for this. Doesn't look like they have any tools left, so we'll just wisely back away. Eminem probably does have gold for 2 items here, but Hanabi, he's hounding him the whole way home.
Now, they don't have Hana here, so I feel like it could be a bad decision to fight without that Sejuani.
Looks like DCG, they want to control this top side. I'm not sure they will want to start up a Baron, although they certainly have the damage for it. Might do it over the wall.
Yeah, they are jumping over the wall. Aren't going to be seen here, and Frank are none the wiser. This is going to be a 20-minute free Baron, although Kenny Chan has got his suspicions, uses a Twisted Advance already. Glacial Prison comes out, his 2k health is going to go down, but now what can Frank do? They're going to have to look for something. At the moment, it's looking like Kenny Chan's going to go down, although Eminem finds a double root there, gets 1 kill out the back, does Pretender. Now Solo Kill arriving, he does have Flash very, very soon, but it's not up for now, so ultimately it's only Chris Carter going down for a 20-minute Baron.
That 20-minute Baron is going to allow DCG to really put on the pressure here. Krishkada did go down, but the man doesn't even have a KP, so certainly didn't have a bounty. Doesn't have a lot of CS to his name either, and they did get both his sums, but I think him losing the Baron buff is pretty irrelevant. He's always going to be grouped with the team anyway. So while it is a nice consolation prize, I don't think it really changes much, and really intelligent here, I think, from DCG just to start this up. It looks like the Lingering Vision might have actually spotted this. I think Frank were aware, but it's still so hard to check in. You know, you've got the Ashe and the Heimer slowing you the whole time. Really intelligent here, I think, by Hanabi to go over the wall. Just make sure there is no chance that Kenny Chan can contest this, and also got the exhaust out of the Yuumi. And Eminem and Pretender, they do a good job to trade something back here, but it did come at a cost, right? There was a lot of sums burned in this fight from both sides, and now DTG with the Baron, 4th Dragon coming up soon. It's all in their favor right now. Nash is on the what's it called? On the cannon.
Well, yeah, this is definitely a unique cannon build. I mean, in the isolated 1v1, he probably just destroys Hanabi, honestly.
Yeah, I think it is good for his 1v1, but again, I don't think he can really auto-attack in the team fight, so we'll see how much use he actually gets out of it. Obviously, Nash gives pretty good stats anyway. TP comes in, though. Ooh, Ash Arrow does go wide. Mission's level 15, so up 2 levels on Pretender. Going to get a lot of damage on this tower, nice and early.
No answer.
It's gone already, and that probably will be the end hit not too long after.
Eminem is going to get flashed on here from Hana, but there is no follow-up for now. Twisted Advance lands onto Mission. He's half health. Can Eminem find the follow-up damage? He is able to land some of these sniper shots, and Solo Kill has a flank. Flash up, ult up, he's going in. He's going to find the stun here. A lot of damage onto Orca. Pretender finds one for himself too. It's Chris Carter running for his life as Hana, stuck in the middle of 3, is going to go down. Eminem finds one. It's Hanabi next. There is no way he can turn this around. It's through a 5 found. here for Frank, and they're looking to turn the game again.
Frank, they win a fight that they have no business winning and going to claw themselves back into this game. That's absolutely huge. They get so many shutdowns, they're going to be able to completely eliminate that Baron and can probably even grab themselves the drag once they get back on the map. And it really feels like that should never happen there from DCG. They overreach too far and they get hard punished for it. Hana, he really doesn't need to do this. He can just wait for all his range champs to keep sieging the base, but he feels like he needs to make it fast, which just isn't it. Mission, he W's in and flashes out. Maybe not the Tristana combo we've been looking for. And solo kill, I think his TP flank, while it didn't achieve too much, it bought a lot of time. Time that Pretender used really, really well, just getting so much damage with these shock blasts here into the back line. And wow, I mean, it's a big overreach from DCG, and it really costs them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want you to think back to day one here of the PCS between Frank and PSG. And I think if you remember, the game looked fairly similar to how this one did, minus the Baron. And Frank managed to find a similarly miraculous team fight to give themselves a chance in the game, and they've done it once again here. Obviously, backs are still against the wall. It's 15 seconds until the Dragon's Soul is going to spawn, and a lot was used. There is not going to be a flash here for this Kennen, which can be so important. Flash also missing from both carries on both teams, so positioning going to be so important. Ashe ult does go wide.
Oh, flank from Hanabi, and they know exactly where solo kill is. This fight's looking pretty good for DCG. They just have to kite out this Nature's Grasp.
Nature's Grasp is going to come in. It's only going to land onto Hana for now as everyone sort of gets into a row. Solo kill ult not going to find anything. It's Eminem now. Eminem is going to have to do the damage here if they are going to want to fight this. Pretender trying to search in some shockwaves into the mix, but ultimately still very, very high health bars, excluding Hana, who is absolutely okay. Regening up in this bush now. It's low health bars, both sides. No ult here on this Kennen.
Oh, TP flank coming in from
TP flank
Hanabi.
coming. They're going to have to go. It is going to be a Aphelios picking up that dragon, but what do they lose for it, if anything? Hanabi looking for his in, isn't able to find it just yet. A lot of zoning coming out, and it looks like Frank have committed theft and gotten away with it.
Committed theft is exactly what they've done. I'm extremely surprised they managed to get that with the Kennen ult being wasted and the Nature's Grasp not really finding anything, but somehow it is Aphelios that secures it, and with that, Frank buy themselves that time to scale that they so desperately need. If Jace can hit 3 items, if Aphelios can hit 3 items, suddenly they have a very, very good chance in this game.
Wow. I think this is really taking me back to day number one. I mean, Frank weren't able to close it out. Admittedly, PSG, probably the best team in the league, but they're giving themselves a real shot here to claw it back. If Aphelios can get to his Bloodthirster, that's going to mean so much, as well as Jace nearing in on getting his 3rd item as well.
Definitely, and you'd have to say that Frank outscale, right? Looking at the likes of Ashe, Heimerdinger, and Renekton, not going to be super useful as this game goes later. Whereas on the other side, the Yuumi, Aphelios, Kennen, all going to have an absolute field day with this game going longer and longer. And 3 items now on Pretender's Jay. Such a consistent carry for the side of Frank, and he's doing it again here. Has himself 5 kills, and that poke now, it's going to hurt, especially if he can land it onto Ashe.
Eminem has the correct guns here. It is going to be that Ashe ult landing onto Kenny-chan. Nature's Grasp comes out. Mission does a lot of damage, is able to find the kill, goes golden, but so much damage coming out of this Aphelios. Solo kill looking, does not land the Q. The Shuriken will go wide. Eminem trying to heal up. He is healing up. Yumi's keeping him alive as well. Isn't able to hit the snipe for now. Is low health bars pretty much across the board, but Baron being looked at for DCG.
They're going to start it up, but I think Frank, they're not going to want to give this over without a fight. They still have a very strong Aphelios. Pretender can still poke them down.
Does have good guns.
All damage on a Cruscata. I think the Baron's gone, though.
Baron is going to be gone. They should just walk away here and look. They've shown that they can win a fight. That fight started off pretty poorly. A lot of damage got done onto Kenny-chan, and they still almost won it. So I think giving it away here and then looking for a fight around Dragon is probably their best course of action.
Yeah, and a couple skill shots going wide there from both teams. It leads a couple people to just get out on very low HP. It is the Morello picked up from the Heimerdinger, as well as the Bramble on the Sejuani. So they do have a little bit of healing cut to stop Eminem and the Kaiwing's Yuumi from just taking over. But we'll take a look at how this started. So Kenny-chan, he did get engaged on very early and took a lot of damage as a result. And solo kill, he did have TP, but didn't really have a great place to put it. And this bomb was actually flashed onto Pretender, which made him lose half his health. Mission, it was very, very low, got out, and there was a shuriken on him, just barely missed. Not sure if it would have killed him, but would have left him extremely low. As he go back and alive, and with 2 more minutes on what is potentially another 4th dragon. Now, worth noting is that DCG do have Baron buff this whole time, you know, until dragon spawn, so they should be able to keep the waves pushed. And if they play it well, Frank shouldn't be able to contest. But we've seen what's happened when Frank shouldn't be able to do something before. They still find a way back into the game, and that's what they're going to look for now. Yeah,
importantly, having this Infernum Gum on the Aphelios does mean you have a lot more wave clear than otherwise, which can be so important. It's going to be the ult coming out of Ashe early again, followed up by the Yuumi ult, so a trade here of these 2 ultimates. As Nature's Graph's going to come out, it is going to be DCG trying to disengage. Hana taking it for the team. Twisted advance, flashes Maokai to the team. It's going to be that Moonlight Vigil. Going to find 2. Solo kill now, looking for both Mission and Chris Carter. They do find Mission. They're going to find Chris Carter. That's 4 found for 1.
Once again, DCG, they overreach. They just keep doing it. They need to play on their range. They need to use the fact that they have this Ashe and Heimerdinger. Instead, they just keep walking too far up, and Frank, they find him every time.
Shroud's Glaive is going to get that slow off.
Yeah, I think
should have got the reset on that slice and die, so Hanabi's going to be fine, but... Okay, Dragon still hasn't spawned, but importantly, they got pretty much every Baron off, and especially every important Baron will be down.
DCG, they're still staying around after they use their ults. I think that's the big problem. So they commit 2 things onto the tank here. Obviously doesn't lead to anything. They need to leave immediately. Your tools are gone to disengage, and for some reason, they're still walking up as if they have any right to be here. And Frank, they realize, okay, fellas, it's time to go. Engage onto the Sejuani, who flashes the Maokai into the team. Obviously taken out very early, but the Aphelios ult absolutely cleans house in that one. And a really nice flank from Solo. And it feels like DCG not really playing to their comp, despite finding a very nice lead for themselves.
Yeah, it felt like Solo Kill just had all the time in the world to stroll on around the side and find that perfect position. Gets the flash engage, but again, it is now the Dragon fight and no flash on this Kennen. He's trying to stay out of vision so he can look for optimal team fight positioning. Hanabi as well, though, looking for this flank, but we'll run into Solo Kill, take a little bit of a chunk. It is going to be Dragon going over to Frank. Doesn't look like DCG want any of this, but Frank certainly do. Their Nature's grasping in. Kenny Chan doesn't overcommit for now, but the Ashe ult coming in, it's going to hit the Maokai again. We've seen the fight start like this, have started to go into Frank's favor, so DCG wisely back off.
And that gold lead is almost all tied up now. Take a look at Aphelios' items. He's getting towards that armor pen, and suddenly that Renekton Sejuani front line is not going to last too long at all. And I think the ADC gap now is pretty tremendous. You know, Cruzcata really cannot put out anywhere near the DPS that this Aphelios can. So I think slowly running out of options here for DCG. They are still ahead, and I think the game is still slightly in their favor, but it's getting more and more difficult. If Mission doesn't have a big pop-off fight, they're going to find it pretty tough, I think, to actually get over the finish line.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like all eggs in the Mission basket at this stage. He certainly is the strongest champion on the map on this Tristana, but how are they going to utilize him? They can utilize him as they are now, have him in his own lane and look for advantages that way, but I think the Nash's Kennen, along with the Static Shiv, will probably just one-shot a wave, as well as Pretender should be able to do the same as well. Yeah,
now, only a minute and a half on the next Baron. Currently DCG are the ones with full control, and both teams do the Baron so fast that the moment it comes up, it might just be dealt with. They can use the Maokai to slowly regain some of this control. I think they need to go through mid, though. I'm not sure why we have so many people up here. Need to get back on that mid wave. It's going to be very difficult to regain that topside control without it. Win expectancy. Still not really sure if I agree with this, but
I guess it is just one Dragon and DCG can win the game pretty much off that alone, so it makes sense. They have tried, though, 2 Barons and nothing's come from it, so you have to feel pretty bad as Eminem looks to pick up this red buff. It is going to be Twisted Advance here onto Hana. Kenny Chan flashes away. Eminem going to have to use Cleanse there. Not an optimal look. Wow, I don't know what happened here, but Hanabi's managed to find himself a solo kill onto Solo Kill.
Yeah, that's really, really big because Solo Kill is now gone for the Baron. So this should be Baron picked up by DCG. They're going to have a 3rd chance at closing the game out. We'll see, though. Frank probably don't want to go down without a fight. Will they try and 4v5 this?
Yeah, it's up to
good poke.
Pretender to try and land poke to allow them to delay this Baron. Mission set up to do it already as Hanabi walking now into the mid lane.
Ooh, maybe just going down mid instead, kind of going to force the issue.
Yeah,
this
this
should
does
just be the
look
Baron
good.
gone,
Hanabi
though.
cannot do anything to stop this. I feel like you have to just recall someone else at this point.
Ooh,
Walker
okay.
is going to recall, but they're going to get an inhib for this. So honestly, like the trade here.
Yeah, I think it's the best you can get given your situation.
We've seen before that despite having 2 Barons already, DCG seem to not know how or just do not have the tools to push with it in any case.
Yeah, so let's take a look before we, let's go back to that after, but let's see how this unfolded, because I feel like Solo Kill should win the side lane. I guess he just walked into melee range, yeah, was unaware of the Renekton being there, and with the chase was just able to take him out. I'm still surprised, though, actually, that Kennen didn't end up winning this. I guess there's just so much health to get through, and he was CC'd for half of it. But coming back to what you were saying about not having the tools or, potentially not playing it well enough, I really think it is more of a gameplay issue. I think they have the tools here, but it is a hard to execute comp. They need to plan their range. They need to kite out the engage. And both times DCG, kind of their own volition, have just gone a bit too far, overreached into the base. All they need to do is keep the waves pushed with Baron, and then look towards drag. Lots of damage on a Kenny-chan.
Yeah, he is getting stunned up here as well. It's going to be Glacial Prison. Pretender trying to find what damage he can, but ultimately Kenny-chan just goes down for nothing. It's all up to everyone else now. Can they delay this? Dragon spawns in 1 minute. They're going to try and not lose as much of their base as possible until that does happen. Moonlight Vigil comes through. There's going to be a lot of damage onto Chris Carter. His mission now gets an absolute one-shot there onto Eminem, and with that, they should be able to push an end.
I would hope so. 3 Barons later, I think DCG can finally close this one out. Can Pretender hold on to it, though? I mean, he's been having a very good game. I'm trying to drag Frank across the finish line, but hasn't been able to do it just yet. Mission, though, the hero of this game.
15 seconds until Kenny-chan is back up, but they're lacking a lot of damage without this Aphelios.
Maybe 2 inhibs and back to Baron,
3
or back
inhibs.
to Dragon. Well, yeah, they probably should have gone for the 3rd one, but going to play it safe. Friscata is very low, the reset's going to come through. And they are just going to play towards that 4th Dragon, which should be theirs. Eminem will be dead for this, so that's a lot of DPS missing. Frank, though, they're making to contest this, and I think without their Aphelios, it's not going to be possible.
Aphelios is spawning, though. Are they going to be able to delay it? With it being a Dragon, almost certainly not. As you see, Mission absolutely destroys this objective.
Yeah, looks
No
like it's
Chris
gone.
Carter here, though. Maybe they look for an immediate fight after. It's Hana being jumped on here by Solo Kill, but in the back, Hanabi looking. He is getting taken down, but he does have this GA available for himself. Kenny-chan starting up, but Eminem has arrived. Eminem's here. What damage can he do? Solo Kill looking for everything. Zonya's in the middle there. Pretender flashes for no real reason, but it is going to be a lot of damage going both ways. I'm not even sure what's happening. A lot of Aphelios is happening. They've got the GA off of Mission. Everyone's getting healed up so much by this Ocean Soul now, though.
DCG, I think maybe now can finally end. They have the super waves in mid and top, but instead it's going to be resets that come in, and this game is still going.
Yeah, 36 minutes. And I have to say, at this point, it's been back and forward, but DCG should certainly be able to do it. We saw Mission one-shot Eminem not 3 minutes ago, and knowing that, you feel like they just have everything they need to be able to win.
Does look like it. And Mission, I was a bit worried for him at first, but he knows that Maokai has no W, so feels safe walking up and gets a lot of damage onto him very early. And Kenny-chan, he feels the need to go in to avoid dying, but is taken out shortly after. And this is looking good for DCG. They make sure to kite back a little bit. No Eminem with the white-green guns is very, very scary, so I'm glad they didn't walk up to him there. They dealt so much damage on the way out here. But Mission, he just absolutely pops him up 3 levels. Kills him from 80% health, 90% even.
Okay, it's base defense here for this last inhib, and it's so important for Frank to maintain that one.
Yeah, I
Does
think
look
it's gone,
like,
though.
Yeah, it should be gone here. There is no way for Solo Kill to really help, and that's 3 inhibs down. They're going to have to deal with double super minion waves in every wave for at least 2.5 minutes here.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I think DCG, again, they have to make sure not to overreach, but if they play this slow, they should be able to clean it up. There is a fair amount of wave gear here, though, from Frank, and it's not the double super creeps. Ooh.
Oh, okay, Orca extremely low.
He has the Ocean Soul, though.
Does accidentally get tagged up by Just the spread of that Infernum gun.
Yeah, one more of those.
Cascada, though, could be in trouble. That is going to be Ashol popped early. Should be getting stunned up here. Actually isn't going to be as... Oh, he is going to get flashed on by Kenny Chan. All right, Cascada has gone down, so now it's a 4v5. Should still be DCG in the driving seat, but just unable to push further until Ash does respawn.
Yeah, I can kind of give them a pass for this one a little bit. They didn't have flashes, so it's much more difficult to disengage from any of these sorts of plays. And the side of Frank, they punished them very well. And I think, was that one of their... No, that was a mid-inhib respawning there for DCG. So with those 3 inhibs down, it's going to be very difficult for Frank to come out and contest this 4th Baron.
4 Barons on the same side, and the game is yet to end. Well, 3 so far, but you do have to feel like this next one's inevitable. Solo Kill does have teleport, and again, he does have that static shiv, which increases his wave clear tenfold almost.
Yeah, I think Frank, I wonder if they can contest. Like, they kind of need to. I feel like giving Baron with 3 inhibs is pretty much GG.
The 2 inhibs will spawn pretty much while the Baron is going down, though. It's only about 40 seconds difference, which means they should be up in time, but you are almost certain to lose those inhibs immediately after.
Well, we'll see. It looks like for now they are just going to be confined to this base, so it will be the 4th Baron. Started up here by DCG and should go down in record time. Even with only 3 of them, probably will only take about 7 or 8 seconds here. Just absolutely deleted. Mission does so much damage.
Yeah, Mission really does. He doesn't have GA now, so DCG might want to wait until that is back up, as Cascada, pretty much a non-factor in this game, unfortunately. His ults have been important at times, but even then, most of them landing just onto this Maokai.
Now, okay, they've got the Baron. They've still got those inhibs down. Can DCG finally do it, or are they going to need to play for the Elder? I think, again, just play it slow. Use those creep waves. They should be able to do it. They have flashes up this time. You know, Cascada mission, they're going to have it soon. Just need to wait for that. First inhib respawns. They still have that bot wave, though, to use.
Okay, Eminem does get his Infernum gun back, so that will add a lot to the wave clear here. Mission walking up quite aggressively. Mid inhib already has been taken down. I think if you're going to fight as Frank, you have to find an angle really shortly. Don't want to be going down 3 inhibs again. But with this Baron, it seems almost like it's unavoidable. This Ashol does land again onto Maokai. Nature's Grasp will come out. Hana running away. Should be able to block it up for the rest of the team. Cascada does get hit on the end, but he's too far away for anything to really happen.
Really nice there by DCG, though. They managed to disengage. Ooh, taking a lot of poke, though. Orca, he needs to be careful. Takes another one of those, and he might be forced to recall if he can just stay back, get the sustain. They really want to try get this inhib down before the Elder, if they can, but maybe they're not able to. So looks like resets will come out of DCG, and with that inhib not being down, I think Frank will be able to contest it. It's going to come down to a 5v5 on Elder.
Yeah, absolutely. And while that Elder fight happens, it will be better signs for Frank as well, assuming they don't give up the top inhib. The bot inhib should spawn as well, meaning only middle inhib being down, which is the easiest to deal with out of the 3.
15 more seconds. Hanabi is top lane. I wonder if he's going to try take that last inhib and then TP in.
Ult used to stop Solo Kill's back here, so Solo Kill is going to not be able to defend the inhib. It should be going down, and with that, a huge advantage given over to the side of DCG yet again, but priority over this Elder Dragon is going to be in favor of Frank. They are able to set up using Maokai as Solo Kill tries to defend the base. Missing that Kennen ult, though, means a whole lot more than missing your Renekton.
Yeah, Kennen, he has a lot of waves to deal with, but Frank, they're doing this so fast.
Yeah, Nature's Grasp coming out. It's going to be a smite fight. Who's going to get it? It's going to be going over to Hana. And with that, so much damage coming out. But the damage from Eminem is almost higher. Cascada's 1 HP. He goes down. Eminem, against this Elder Dragon, is trying to find the damage necessary. Orca next on the list. He is going to go down. In the back, though, Mission has teleported in to end this game. Hanabi is against Solo Kill with Mission. Pretender flashes in. The knockback. 1 HP left onto both of these members. Is Eminem going to be able to do it? No, the game ends. It's going to DCG.
Oh, what a game. Somehow Frank threw it. They keep fighting, but it just isn't enough at the end. And DCG, I mean, no looks of happiness on their faces. Really just look